Welcome to another bonus edition of Upon Further Review.
Upon further review,
And in this edition, we'll be going over the Washington Redskins at the Houston Texans. This game will be played September 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can catch that on Fox on your local affiliates. So the Redskins going to Texas to face the Texans in Houston. And both teams have new coaching staffs. And the fans of both teams are hoping that they can make a turnaround, as they were two of the worst teams in record terms anyway. The Redskins last year were 4-0 in the preseason, and then they were 13-3 in the regular season. So they actually won more games in last year's preseason they did in the regular season. I mean, that's pretty tough to do. That's almost, I don't know if that's ever happened before. It's almost unheard of. The Texans, they started off 2-0, and then they lost 14 straight games. And really what seemed to be the catalyst to that is they were up on the Seattle Seahawks 20-0 going into the fourth quarter last year. I think that was week 5. And then the Seahawks came back, tied the game, sent it to overtime, and ended up beating the Texans. The Texans didn't win another game after that. So it really took the life out of them. Of course, injuries were a problem. And as we stated, they've got a new coaching staff this year. They've also, like I just said, got a new quarterback. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is actually one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league. He was with the Texans last year, but even there, he didn't really get much of a chance to really showcase his talents. Before that, he was in Buffalo. But he's actually a lot better than people give him credit for, and he's going to be throwing to one of the top receivers in the league, and Andre Johnson. Aaron Foster is back in the backfield, so we'll see what he can do if he can stay healthy. He's also got some decent backups in Blue and Grimes. The defense of the Texans is really where they shine, as J.J. Watt is one of the best, if not the best, defensive player in the league. They also drafted Jadeveon Clowney, who's definitely got high expectations, as he's shown to be one of the top pass rushers in all of the NCAA and college football during his career in South Carolina as a Gamecock. And that's not to mention Brian Cushing, who's going to be right next to him there in that linebacking core. So they've got plenty of talent around too, Joseph, just to name one of them. So the Texans are loaded on defense, and they should be better on offense this year. They're going to be one of the more competitive teams, and I actually think that they're going to go from worst to first. I think the Texans are going to win the AFC South, but we'll see about that. Of course, the Redskins, they have a chance to compete in the NFC East, which is also a wide open division. Any team could win. It's a different team has won each of the last at least 3, I think maybe even 4 years, where it could be the Cowboys, it could be the Eagles, it could be the Giants, or it could be the Redskins even. And actually, the Cowboys have been right on the verge of winning the title in the NFC East year after year, just to see it slip away in the last week and go to another team as it did last year with the Eagles. The year before that was the Redskins. So the Redskins were one of the hot teams just 2 years ago, right there in RG3's rookie season, but injury and then the struggles last year really brought them down. But in the off season, they made some key acquisitions, one of which is Deshaun Jackson. So that's another target for Robert Griffin III. He's going to have Pierre Garçon back. There's Alfred Morris in the backfield, is one of the top running backs in the league. So they'll have a running game. They've got targets for a passing game if Robert Griffin III can stay healthy, and he's always a threat out of the backfield as well. So the Redskins should be a much more competitive team in 2014 than they were in 2013. Of course, the big question marks are going to be on defense for the Redskins. And as competitive as I expect them to be throughout the year, potentially anyway, I mean, only time will tell. They don't have enough to go into Houston to beat the Texans. I expect the Texans to win this game. Should be competitive, at least through the first 3 quarters. In the end, I expect the Texans to win this one probably by, I'm guessing, around a touchdown, maybe 6 points. We'll see what it ends up being, but think Ryan Fitzpatrick gets the win in his first start as a Houston Texan. I think this is a good fit for him. I think Fitzpatrick will finally start to get some of the respect that he does deserve. He doesn't really have much of a chance to showcase his talents, as I said before, but he's one of the smarter quarterbacks in the league. He doesn't make too many mistakes. If he can take care of the ball and not throw interceptions, the Texans got the defense. They've got a running game. See how Arian Foster, how he holds up. But if they can stay healthy, there's no reason the Texans can't make a run and win that division. So I'm picking the Texans. Let me know what you think by leaving a comment below, and I will respond. Thanks for listening.